Roxamore Sports Network starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Can you feel that? Tell me, can you feel that? You see it coming? Yeah, let me help you with your vision, they losing their sight here. Time to send the world a message they might hear. Like big meals, I'm making it quite clear. I'm chasing my dreams and fighting my nightmares. I'm going real hard, I'm talking words you understand, I'm talking real bars. I'm going everywhere, you know I'm talking real far. Yeah, it's time to raise a toast to this thing that I love the most. As I go from coast to coast, I'm talking north side, I'm talking south side, I'm talking east side, I'm talking west side. I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide. Yeah, it's time to let you know how I spit it when I flow. When I go and light a fuse and I set to let it blow. I'm talking worldwide, I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide. Yeah, time to check my status and the GOAT is what it be. And you know I'm over 30, so my level is a G. And I may be from the hood, but I'm way beyond these streets. And my pockets hate a diet, so they always down to eat. Even though they screaming fame, and it's always spelling me. And I'll never hang it up till my mission is complete. And I'm looking at you haters, I suggest you take a seat. Cause it's all fun and games till a killer show his teeth. This is for them cats that be screaming homies. Claiming that you're real, but we know you're phony. Now I'm chilling with my sons, they my one and only. Like the Turner brothers, yeah, we screaming lions only. Step into this den, I welcome all who will dare. Never met a David, tell me whom shall I fear? Gotta rep the nation, black and gold is what I wear. If you look to your left, to your right, I'm everywhere. I'm talking north side, I'm talking south side, I'm talking east side, I'm talking west side. I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide. Yeah, it's time to let you know how I spit it when I flow. When I go and light a fuse and I set to let it blow.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Roxamore Sports Network for today's WPIAL 5A basketball matchup between the Greensburg Salem Golden Lions and the Woodland Hills Wolverines. I'm Travis Newton. I'll be joined intermittently by Leon Roxamore here on the call. We'd like to welcome you in what has been a wild start to the day after a power outage that took place midway through the JV game. The game was almost canceled here for varsity, but with about 20 minutes to spare, the lights kicked back on. So here we are, Woodland Hills in white, Greensburg Salem in the brown and yellow, and we have a tie game to get things started, 2-2. Both of these teams have already matched up once this season. Woodland Hills got a big W, 51-48 in overtime, and a charge led by Velton Kinney, getting it done on the defensive side and hitting some key free throws to give his team the victory. Woodland Hills comes in with a record of 7-10. The Golden Lions a record of 2-13. So here we go, a 4-2 lead now for the Golden Lions of Greensburg Salem. And now Woodland Hills' second possession of the game. Deontay Williams going to try a three, nothing but net from the sophomore guard. And Woodland Hills doing their homework on the last game, forced a lot of turnovers against the Golden Lions, so they're going to line up in that full court, heavy pressure. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the Lions do the same, as Woodland Hills has struggled with their turnovers throughout the season. Nice take inside, looping in. Dante Parsons get the deuce. And now Kyer Hainsworth, who lives in that mid-range game, bringing it back up. Williams thought about another. Now a kick to the freshman Reddicks. This is a younger team for Woodland Hills. 3 seniors, a sophomore, and a freshman, compared to a senior-studded team for the Golden Lions. 5 seniors in the starting lineup. Greensburg Salem on the push again. Parsons loses it, and here comes Kyer Hainsworth. Robinson, not who you want to have bring it up the floor, but Kyer Hainsworth going to get on that loose ball, put it up, and draw the foul. So 1 point lead here for the Golden Lions, and a chance for Hainsworth. Hainsworth a chance to tie or take the lead here early on in the first quarter for the Woodland Hills Wolverines. Spins that one in, ties it up at 6s. Hainsworth buys them both, so momentarily a 1-point lead here for the Woodland Hills Wolverines, coming off a very impressive performance in the 2020 MLK Showcase and a strong take there by the 6'4 guard, Ryan Thomas, going against Raylon Robertson, the big man, 6'1 senior. So the Golden Lions sitting in that zone defense. Most teams have had their best success against the Wolverines this year in man-to-man, so surprised they're in it. And Shamar McCoy, he's going to play a huge impact in this game. He sends that one back right to Hainsworth, who dishes it in there to Deontay Murray, who gets the easy bucket. Sorry, Deontay Williams, who gets the easy bucket. And now a delay of game called on Williams. I'd like to thank you for joining us here on the Roxamore Sports Network for this WPIAL 5A matchup. So Greensburg Salem taking their time on this offensive possession. They trail by 1. Had a decent look at it inside, but Shamar McCoy, the follow, won't get it to go. Ball back to the Woodland Hills Wolverines. Trying to work it inside to Rayshawn Robertson. Robertson getting it right back after the turnover and gets the easy bucket for Woodland Hills, extending their lead 11-8. Now Angelo Reddick's the rebound off another missed shot here by the Golden Lions. Woodland Hills doing a good job of working patient possessions here. All of their shots thus far have come from inside the paint. We usually like to see them force the outside shots, and they certainly have people that can make them. But a good patient offense here to start the game is Robinson going inside again. The reverse layup gets it to go for 2. And now going to the bucket, Dante Parsons. He'll draw the foul, so the first time at the charity stripe for the Golden Lions. They trail by 5, 13-8. Parsons going to get the first one. But as I was saying, Woodland Hills coming off an impressive performance at the 2020 MLK Showcase. They won 2 out of 3 as the host. As we're going to get big for big, Jeremy Thomas checking in for Raylon Robertson. And one more at the line for Parsons. That one's going to rattle in and out, so 13-9 remains the score, 3:10 remaining here in the first quarter. Good job getting it into the middle. Now Reddix pulls the 3 off for an iron, and an offensive rebound by Robertson, but called a foul. And Coach Verjanik disagrees with it. So do I. He just out-jumped the defender there. And another big bucket there for the Wolverines. Jeremy Thomas, I'm loving this game plan here for Woodland Hills, doing all of their work inside, even though they're going against the 6'6 star Shamar McCoy. So a timeout for the Golden Lions. The score 15-9 with 2:39 remaining here in the first period. We'd like to thank our sponsor for this game, Wilson's Night Out. Come to Wilson's Night Out, not just for a night out, but for an experience of Caribbean cuisine. Happy hour Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. with specialty drinks. Looking for that certain room to host parties, meetings, social events, receptions, repast, and more? Come to Wilson's Night Out. Always a good time. So the head coach for Greensburg Salem, Mark Zahorchek, not happy with the start from his team. Definitely a stale offensive performance. Most of their points coming from the free throw line, but just not able to stop Woodland Hills down in the paint. And a great offensive attack here for Woodland Hills. Woodland Hills in their last game coming off a loss against Bethel Park High School, who just as a team outmanned the Woodland Hills Wolverines both individually and as a unit. So the Wolverines going to stick in that full court pressure, but coming out and breaking it is Greensburg Salem. They had numbers, but go ahead and pull it out. Now a strong take with the right. Rayshawn Robertson says, get that out of here, and here comes Woodland Hills on the break. Angelo Reddix, deep from three, nothing but net. The young fella gets the tray ball to go. First points of the game for Angelo Reddix. Woodland Hills led thus far by Deontay Williams on the scoreboard. Robertson took a risk there. That's going to lead to numbers for the Lions and getting the easy deuce. So both teams finding the majority of their luck down in the paint. Woodland Hills getting their first points from beyond the arc on the previous shot.
You know what, Travis? I was just saying to that young fella before the game, when you get the opportunity, pull the shot. And look at that. Good advice pays off.
Certainly a lot of confidence from the freshman. You can tell that's a shot he's worked on a lot. Definitely look for him to get more chances. And if he has the open looks, why not take him, give his team a best chance to win? Woodland Hills, they got a slow start on the season. It's really been a roller coaster of a season for the Wolverines, but they're fighting for a chance to make it back to 500 going through the final part of their season here, working into February. Reddix may have had a chance at another one, but bobbled it. The float game off the mark. Rayshawn Robertson now with a follow-up out of bounds. Ball sticks with the Wolverines. As a spark plug for the white and blue, Velton Kinney now checking in. We saw him the beginning of the season come in as a sixth man and then worked his way into the starting lineup, and now they feel like they've found a nice groove with Reddix as a starter, and now Velton Kinney coming back off the bench here about 3/4 of the way through the season. Good ball movement. Reddix in and out. Tough break there for the white and blue of Woodland Hills, and here comes Greensburg Salem once again. Going in hard with the right hand. Number 2, Zach Galdo, a 6'2 senior guard, using the glass, getting the bucket and the foul. Chance for a three-point lay. So Reddix coming out, Kyer Hainsworth after just a 1-minute break, checking back into the game. Like I mentioned earlier, Hainsworth definitely a problem for opposing teams on the offensive side, but not beyond the three-point line. Once he gets inside of there, the mid-range jumpers, he's almost automatic. Coach Verjanik's going to lose his mind with that one. Giving up an offensive rebound off the free throw and another off the three-point miss. So 5-point lead now for the Wolverines. Hainsworth, Kinney. One dribble pull-up. And Robertson's really emerged as a strong rebounder here. About the halfway mark of this season. He's doing a great job of getting position in there on the offensive side. Gets the rebound and the bucket. So Greensburg Salem started out fast on this possession. Now they're going to bring it back out. I love this Woodland Hills man-to-man defense. Felton Kinney applying tons of pressure there. And Shamar McCoy, the follow jam. And he's been quiet to start the game. And Deontay Murray pulls up for three as the buzzer goes. But no box out there for the Woodland Hills Wolverines. And Shamar McCoy doing what he does. Number 23, the 6'6 senior, following the miss and jamming it down with two hands. So after the fast-paced action, we're going to go ahead and take a short timeout break here on the Roxamore Sports Network. We'll bring you right back for the second quarter action. We are back and we are live here at Woodland Hills, only on the Roxamore Sports Network. Woodland Hills getting off to a hot start in the first quarter. They have a 5-point lead, 22-17, but we are following up on a power follow-up slam by Shamar McCoy. We saw him in the first matchup between these two teams get a emphatic dunk late in overtime, really in crunch time, and you thought the momentum would have swung to his team, but Woodland Hills coming out with a big win in that one. I believe one of their first wins of the season coming at Greensburg Salem High School. Kyer Hainsworth, the mid-range jumper off the mark, rolls in and out. Rashawn Robertson had a follow chance but couldn't get it to go, and now a foul about 80 feet away on the Woodland Hills Wolverines. So after the foul, possession back to Greensburg Salem. As we get started here, second quarter action from Woodland Hills High School. Jeremy Thomas now getting ready to check back in for the Woodland Hills Wolverines. We'll see him and Raylon Robertson going back and forth as Dante Parsons sinks the three-pointer. Also making his first entrance, Andre Jones, the 6-foot senior guard, coming off the bench. He's been earning more playing time throughout the season for Woodland Hills. Deontay Murray looking to open up the offense. One dribble, drop, pop, shot. Kyer Hainsworth gets the deuce and extends the lead for Woodland Hills back to 4. And Hainsworth could absolutely live in that mid-range game. Coach Furjanic always gets upset with him when he takes the three-point shots. He definitely has the ability to make them, but the closer he gets to the rim, the more higher percentage shot he gets. Well, great defense by Deontay Murray, cutting him off on the corner. We're going to get a traveling violation here on the point guard, Parsons. Now Velton Kinney running the check-in. He's going to grab Andre Jones, so a point guard riddled backcourt here for the Woodland Hills Wolverines. Pick your poison. It's going to be Hainsworth as the floor general. Another elbow jumper, left that one short. Parsons on the run. Kick out, and Jeff Mankins, another starter here for the Gold Lions, thought about the three, but they're trying to get it worked into Shamar McCoy, and that's definitely a good game plan. My opinion, you got to get this young man his touches, and they've really neglected him down there in the post. Then again, he's banging in there with the big man, Jeremy Thomas, who cuts off Parsons, gets a turnover. Now Woodland Hills back with it. And a jump ball. Possession will go back to Greensburg Salem. So 5:38 here left in the first half, a 4-point lead for Woodland Hills. And the 6'4" senior, Jeff Mankins. This referee unit tonight led by Joe Tanook. We also saw this unit in the MLK Showcase, which, by the way, was a great weekend of basketball. 42 teams, a ton of games, and some of the nation's top talents, both individually and teams, littered in the Roxamore Sports Network coverage, including Baltimore Poly, the Carolina Basketball Academy, and Sunrise Christian Academy, some of the best in that one. Velton Kinney, who we know can score at a high clip. In Game 2 of the MLK Showcase, Kinney had 16 of his team's 22 points in the first half against Moon Area. A nice patient possession here. Velton Kinney kind of forcing the issue there. Airballs it, gives it right back to the Golden Lions. So Coach Mark Zahorchek calling out the offensive set here for Greensburg Salem. And we're going to stick with man defense for the Woodland Hills Wolverines. We've seen them defer to the zone throughout the season, but I like this move. using the athleticism that they possess. As Shamar McCoy doing a good job of getting that extra dribble down, the pump fake, and the shot for 2. That's now 4 points. As Greensburg Salem in this game thus far is led by Dante Parsons, already in double digits with 10. Another turnover. Parsons going to try one from way downtown. Bang! That's good. NBA range for Dante Parsons. The scoring total now to 13 for Dante Parsons, showing he can score at will. A rake down for Shamar McCoy, and drawing the foul to be Kyer Hainsworth going to the line for a pair. So the first lead of the evening here for the Golden Lions. But a chance to bring it right back here for Woodland Hills. Kyer Hainsworth already 2 for 2 at the line thus far. The do-it-all guard, Deontay Murray, now checking into the game. He'll grab out Velton Kinney, also coming in, Andre Jones. Throughout the season, we've seen Deontay Williams show off his sweet touch from beyond the arc, but I really like him when he's attacking the bucket. A great passer, pulls defenders, and opens up a lot of opportunities for his teammates. So Woodland Hills doing something they haven't done for much of the season, being very efficient from the free throw line, as we're going to get an illegal screen called on Ryan Thomas, gives it right back to the Wolverines. But a good start from the free throw line for Woodland Hills, as they now take the lead 26-25, 3:46 remaining in the second. Andre Jones, a nice feed inside to Rayshawn Robertson. Thomas wants it in the short corner. Big man working on the block, the right-handed floater, and Robertson right there for the one-handed tip follow, continuing his dominance on the offensive boards. Another pace and possession here for the Golden Lions. Look for him to try and get some touches inside the paint. Dante Parsons going to try another one in and out. Offensive rebound, the put up, the foul, and the bucket. A chance at a three-point play for the Golden Lions, with Ryan Thomas going to the line. So back and forth here in the early goings. Chance to tie it up here with the free throw for Thomas. And tie it he will, so we're all squared up. 28-28, 3:05 left in the second. Couple of pump fakes here on the perimeter by the Woodland Hills Wolverines. And it looks like the Golden Lions going to decide to go back in that 2-3 zone, and absolutely pure from downtown. Andre Jones showing the confidence in his first shot of the game. And they talk about nothing but net, but that shot by Andre Jones almost got nothing but air, just smooth coming down through the net. Now trying to answer is Parsons off front iron, and the rebound by Timothy Jenkins. Sorry, Jeremy Thomas with the rebound. And now Hainsworth going to get a three. The Oprah show here for Woodland Hills. You get a three, you get a three, you get a three, as everyone's heating up here in the second quarter for Woodland Hills. Let's see if the Golden Lions have an answer. They find themselves down by 6, 34-28. And still no action down in the paint for Shamar McCoy. Woodland Hills doing a nice job of limiting him as he gets that one up, blocked by Robertson, and he saves it from going out of bounds. And Robertson now converting on the offensive side after a great feed by Deontay Williams.
You know, Travis, Woodland Hill Wolverines seem to be on fire here tonight.
Yeah, they've definitely come out with some passion early on, and we really didn't see that in their last performance. But smiles on the faces of these Woodland Hills players, and they're showing that enthusiasm on the court as Parsons silenced them momentarily with the offhand layup. So we're going to get a timeout here called by Coach Verjanik. He's happy with his team but wants to talk over this final minute of play. It's a Woodland Hills lead, 36-30, as the offense is absolutely on fire here late in the first half. Once again, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Wilson's Night Out. Come to Wilson's Night Out, not just for a night out, but for an experience of Caribbean cuisine. Happy hour Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. with specialty drinks. Looking for that certain room to host parties, meetings, social events, receptions, repast, and more? Wilson's Night Out is always the place to be. So after some back and forth action, Woodland Hills a chance to pull away here to end the first half. Coach Verjanik wanted to get an offensive set here to make sure they get a point coming off that turnover. The score 36-30 with 1:11 left here in the second period. And now checking back into the game for the Woodland Hills Wolverines, actually checking in for the first time, Timothy Jenkins, number 14, the 6'1 sophomore, who throughout the season has started to earn more and more time for the Woodland Hills Wolverines. So once again, a wild start to the night as the power shut off due to lightning hitting a transformer here in the Woodland Hills area. They were going to call the game at 8 o'clock if the power didn't come back on, but luckily with about 15 minutes left, the lights restored and all was well here at Woodland Hills High School. Dalton Kinney playing a game of cat and mouse here with the Golden Lions defense. Going to draw a foul and we'll get a sideline inbounds for Woodland Hills. So we're under a minute, and they're going to let Belton Kinney run the offense here. They have a chance to hold for the last one, but if they get a good look, I'm sure they're going to want to take it. Patient offense, working it around the perimeter. Definitely don't want it in the big man's hands. Not a prominent ball handler here for Woodland Hills. Oh, and Deontay Williams had Thomas, but he has to know he's not looking at him. A foolish turnover here as time ticking down, but blocked from behind by Kinney. The Lions will keep possession. Shamar McCoy trying to work a move inside, and now a time ticking down. Here comes Kyer Hainsworth, the Euro step in the pair, and now the Golden Lions hoist one up from half court as time expires. Had a chance at it, but won't get it to go. So back and forth we go here from Woodland Hills High School. But as time expires and the siren rings at halftime, we have an 8-point lead for the Woodland Hills Wolverines, 38-30. Make sure you stay tuned here on the Roxamore Sports Network. We'll be right back after this commercial break with the Roxamore Sports Network Halftime Report.
Pardon me, ma'am. My Sound Wireless Delivery, the Line Edition?
Trouble can find anyone. At Frank Walker Law, we take the time to understand your situation and work tirelessly on your behalf. Hard-hitting representation when you need it the most. A real law firm getting real results.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to the Roxamore Sports Network. An impressive first half by the home team, Woodland Hills Wolverines. After the power outage with the JV team shooting the lights out, quite literally, we have a score 38-30. And what I've really liked by the Woodland Hills Wolverines, they know they're the better team. They have the better record at 7-10 compared to 2-13 of the Greensburg Salem Golden Lions. And they've came out and played like they're the better team, really distributing the love. Kyer Hainsworth, the leading scorer, with 15 points here in the first half. And on the other side, they've done a great job of limiting the star for this team, Shamar McCoy. And it's only going to get better because they have Jihad Denard, who was out for the first half. He's going to be coming back in, another big man to put in there against the 6'6 forward and Shamar McCoy, who really only has one highlight of the night, which was that follow jam. But I wouldn't be surprised if Greensburg Salem, if they have the possibility going into a full court press. We've seen it bother the Woodland Hills Wolverines throughout this season. But they're starting out hot. They're keeping the turnovers down, which has really been their Achilles heel throughout the season. So look for them to keep the pace up. They're not forcing the three-point shots. They're getting a lot of points in the paint, are the Woodland Hills Wolverines. And on the other side for Greensburg Salem, they've really been struggling with the man-to-man defense putting on by Woodland Hills. Look for them to use more high ball screens to get some players open. Once they get it inside, they're doing a great job of finding players on the dish and go. But they're really struggling to get it inside the paint, which is why points have not been coming at a premium for them here in this game. So once again, the score with 2 minutes left here before the start of the second half, 38-30. As we will be right back here to start the second half off from Woodland Hills Wolverines Arena here on the Roxamore Sports Network. Stay tuned and don't touch a button. We'll be right back.
This commercial break has been brought to you by Wilson's Night Out, as seen on Def Comedy Jam and the Improv. On Saturday, February 15th, Ty Mack will be at Wilson's Night Out. You want to get your tickets ASAP. Tickets start at $20, and they have drinks. It's on 7365 Denison Avenue in Swissville, PA. For more information to get your tickets, call 412-727-1333. Once again, 412-727-1333. Stay tuned here once again on the Roxamore Sports Network. We're bringing it back to Travis here, live on the Roxamore Sports Network in just a few seconds. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back to the Roxamore Sports Network. Just seconds away from the start of the second half here from Woodland Hills High School is Woodland Hills taking on the Greensburg Salem Golden Lions in a WPIAL 5A matchup. In their last meeting, Woodland Hills got their first win of the season, 51-48 in overtime after some late game heroics by Velton Kinney. And once again, Jihad Denard will be checking in here, or should be, for the second half, and here he comes as we speak. So look for them to add a little height, a little offensive and defensive rebounding, and a lot of scoring, as Jihad Denard has been throughout the season one of the top scorers here on this Woodland Hills team. And he's going to be a great matchup down there against the 6'6 senior forward Shamar McCoy, who Woodland Hills has already done a great job of limiting to just 4 points in the first half. So once again, we'd like to thank you for joining us here on the Roxamore Sports Network. The Greensburg Salem Golden Lions in brown and yellow. Woodland Hills, of course, in their white home uniforms with the blue lettering. So it will be Golden Lions ball to get this one started. And Dante Parsons has really been the leader for this team, scoring 15 points in the first half. So after the first half, we have two players tied for the scoring lead in Dante Parsons and Kyrie Hainsworth. So let's see what Coach Zahorchek drew up at the halftime break for Greensburg Salem. Yeah, Dante Parsons has really been doing a good job of creating his own shot throughout this game. He's done it inside. He actually got the first bucket of the game inside. We've also seen him do it, showing a nice touch from the three-point line. So if you're the Woodland Hills Wolverines, run out on him at the three-point line and let the defenders come in and help side defense. You definitely don't want to leave Shamar McCoy down open on the block. Going in tough, Raylon Robertson inside. Got to own offensive rebound, now goes to the line and showing a little bit of discomfort there as he goes to the stripe. The foul on Shamar McCoy, his first. Raylon Robertson looking for his first points of the game. Won't get it on the first shot. A little bit impatient there at the line. Just kind of chucked it up. No follow through. As you can tell, he's having some discomfort there at the stripe. But Robertson learns from his mistakes and gets the second one to go. See if Woodland Hills can get a stop here and a chance to extend this lead to double digits. They have their largest lead of the night, currently 39-30. Let's see if Greensburg Salem has an offensive answer. Woodland Hills sticking with that man-to-man defense. And I believe a great adjustment here by Coach Verjanik. Late in the season, we've seen him in zone throughout most of the season, but with athletic ability, man-to-man defense is definitely the way to go for this team, and it's been paying off for him here in their past 3 games. They've won 2 of the last 3, looking to make it 3 of the last 4. Oh, a great pass by Deontay Williams, but Robertson couldn't finish it on the float attempt. Parsons now pushing the pace for the team in brown and yellow. And there's that high pick and roll we talked about at the half. And now Shamar McCoy going to get a dish down. Nice lofted pass as defense had front position, got it inside. And let's see if they can get him activated here in the second half. He now has 6 points. Deontay Williams looked to step into that 3 from way downtown, and we heard a collective no from the bench here for Woodland Hills. But making the wise decision, slowing it down, but a turnover here for Woodland Hills. They limited them in the first half, but they got to keep the turnovers down here in the second if they want to keep this lead. Parsons, 3, good. A little bit of a second half push now early on for the Golden Lions. Make it 18 points now for Parsons. Picking up the workload with Shamar McCoy having a slow start, and another turnover for Woodland Hills. Parsons kick out, corner, chance for a run. Golden Lions won't get it to go. Deontay Williams trying to push the pace now. Oh, and a great look Hainsworth to Jihad Denard, and Jihad getting his first minutes of the game, checking in the second half, gets his first bucket of the game.
You know, Travis, it's good to see Jihad finally getting loose a little bit there.
Definitely good to see Jihad Denard on the court for Woodland Hills. He's really been that player that can do it all. He has the scoring, he has the defense, and he also has great offensive rebounding abilities. As Kyer Hainsworth can't get the roll, but Raylon Robertson in the right place. The offensive rebound, and Coach Zohorchek for the Golden Lions livid here after giving up the offensive rebound to Robertson, and we're going to have a 30-second timeout here for Greensburg Salem. Once again, we'd like to thank their sponsor for the game, Wilson's Night Out. Come to Wilson's Night Out, not just for a night out, but for an experience of Caribbean cuisine. Happy hour Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. with specialty drinks. Looking for that certain room to host parties, meetings, social events, receptions, repasts, and more? Wilson's Night Out is the place to be. So to start the game, some back and forth action. We're getting it a little bit here, but Woodland Hills starting to separate themselves from the Golden Lions. The score of 43-35, an 8-point lead for Woodland Hills. And now Coach Virjanic calling out Black, which indicates a little bit of full court, man-to-man pressure, even trying to work in a trap here. But Greensburg Salem breaks it easily. The kick out, Parsons can hit that, and he does. Another three for Parsons, now a 20-point scorer, make it 21 on the day just here in the third quarter with 4:15 remaining. So now Woodland Hills going to settle their offense, and Coach Virjanic's got to relay the message to his team because they haven't gotten it yet that Parsons can score, and he can do it from way beyond the arc. They got to get a hand up and run him off the three-point line. A nice dish down to Jihad Denard, puts it up for the easy deuce. Assist by Velton Kinney. And Velton Kinney, the only scoreless player here in the lineup currently on the floor. We have Tuins double digits scoring with Kyer Hainsworth with 15. And Rayshawn Robertson with 15. A strong block by Jihad Denard. And here comes Kyer Hainsworth. They wanted a walk, but instead we're going to get a jump ball possession sticking with Woodland Hills. And Zohorchek begging for the travel violation. It definitely looked like Kyer Hainsworth got away with one there.
Yeah, I would agree with you, Travis. It was definitely a travel, but because he didn't have complete, control of the ball, that's probably why the ref, alluded to calling it a jump ball.
And that's just the perks of being the home team. You get that hometown treatment by the referees here. Instead, we're actually going to get a call. Call for a kick ball. And Cade Cavanaugh making his first appearance into the game, the 6'2 junior forward. So the kickball possession sticks with the Wolverines. They get it right in to Jihad Denard. Had to get it up high with the contest by Shamar McCoy. Won't get it to go. Now possession back to the Golden Lions. Straight into McCoy. He now tries a floater off the mark. Back iron and a rebound by the Wolverines.
Travis, I would like to say that they got lucky that McCoy missed that because it was uncontested. He's one of the better players on the inside, so why not be there to play defense when he's going up with the ball?
Yeah, certainly that shot was uncontested. And even if you do to get a contest, there's not too many people here on this Woodland Hills team that are going to be able to get high enough to meet him at the places where he can get it. But Deontay Williams showing that sweet touch from downtown. Gets the three to drop, and now once again some full court pressure by the Woodland Hills Wolverines, and it pays off. Kinney to Williams to Jihad Denard, but a walk called and maybe a bit of a makeup call from that last missed traveling violation.
Now that would be messed up. I mean, it was very clean. I didn't see no call there necessary. That was good defense.
Now coming down on the other side, Parsons trying to push the issue. He's going to get called for a foul on Jihad Denard. Just the second foul here of the second half. 2:30 remaining in the third period. A 10-point lead for the Woodland Hills Wolverines, and D'Angelo Reddix, who's been out of the game here for a little bit in the second half. He's going to check back in, giving Kyrie Hainsworth a break. Going hard inside. But once again, rejected by Jihad Denard, and this is that defensive presence we talked about at the break. Just a staple in there on that defensive side. In and out was Parsons on the floater. We're going to get a foul on the ground. Possession sticking with the Golden Lions. And after a short break, Cade Cavanaugh checking back in for Greensburg Salem. And that's going to be the third foul on Rayshawn Robertson, so it looks like his twin, Raylon, will check back in. Now Velton Kinney coming fast on the break. The right hand off the glass is good. Making a 12-point lead for Woodland Hills, 50-38. And they continue with the defensive full court pressure, and another foul call on Jihad Denard. And that's now 2 fouls on Denard as Rayshawn Robertson will check out and Raylon Robertson will come back in. And we're getting a warning here by the official. Little bit of thin skin here by the official. But getting this game in order, as Woodland Hills not happy with the call there, and for obvious reason, it looks like Denard got all ball on the full court pressure. Good ball movement around the perimeter, and that's not who you want to leave open. Getting his own rebound, misses 2 in a row. And now a beret of offensive rebounds, and finally Angelo Reddix cleans it up. It was Dante Parsons and Shamar McCoy, the 2 stars on this team, both of them unable to finish from 2 feet away. A dangerous pass, but Velton Kinney comes up with it. The dish rejected, and now a fight for it. And Woodland Hills just needs to pull it out here, but Deontay Williams says, never mind, I'll try it from 3, and he sinks it. He's heating up here in the second half.
Now, Travis, that was a beautiful play and beautiful shot by Deontay, but that ball movement, that was great ball movement by the team as well leading up to that shot.
And it was a little bit of a fire drill there by the Woodland Hills Wolverines, maybe accidental ball movement as they got the offensive rebound, and then it was just a skirmish for the ball. But Williams wound up in the right place and showed off that sweet shooting stroke. Good job getting it into the middle of the defense there. Raylon Robertson going against this 2-1-2 zone. Reddix toying with the defender. A rake down as they'll get it back to Velton Kinney. Good patient offense here by the Wolverines. Velton Kinney, a nice look inside to Jihad Denard. Almost got caught leaving his feet, but will be called for the foul prior. So that foul's going to go on number 10, Jeff Mankins. There's a good chance here for Woodland Hills to extend their lead. Dante Parsons, the leading scorer with 21 coming out. Smart play by Deontay Williams, inbounding it off of the back of the defender. And with 5 seconds left, Reddix going to try with time expiring. He won't get it to go, and the shot clock will ring, and we head to the fourth quarter. A commanding lead for Woodland Hills as they've kept their foot on the pedal, doing a great job of limiting to Shamar McCoy just to 6 points. And you can see it in his face. He's not happy with his and his team's performance here. So we're going to get to a break here as we approach the fourth quarter of play. It's a 53-38 lead for the Woodland Hills Wolverines. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Roxamore Sports Network. Travis Newton joining you here, and 8 minutes to go to decide a winner. And Woodland Hills coming out with a clear advantage, 55-38 to start the final quarter of play. And now they're going to go back into a zone defense. It looks like 2-3 zone for Woodland Hills. Actually, looks like they're in a box and one now with Deontay Williams floating for Woodland Hills, and Deontay Parsons right where he left off gets the easy bucket. And now numbers for Woodland Hills. They had numbers, but going to choose to pull it out and start up their offensive set with a 15-point lead. Jahad Denard thought about the long two. A nice inside move, goes to the bucket, and a goaltend by Shamar McCoy.
Well, you know what, Travis? The good news is that Jahad did not try to shoot the three. He usually tried to take that three in the other games, but we've seen him being a little bit more reservant today. It's a good thing to see.
Yeah, and this Woodland Hills Wolverines team in general has really been very patient on the offensive side, doing a good job of being selective where their shots, but then again, they're not being too selective to where it's really disrupting the motion of their offense. And we have seen Denard take that three multiple times throughout the season. It's really not a shot. Anything beyond the foul line for Jahad Denard is a stretch, but pass helped on it. A nice spin inside and gets the easy bucket with the goaltending. So Kyer Hainsworth coming in as Deontay Williams getting quality minutes in the third quarter, really pushing this team ahead. So 3 players in double digits now for the Woodland Hills Wolverines, with Murray checking out, a fight for the ball and a foul on Greensburg Salem. And a little bit of back and forth there by the freshman Angelo Reddix and Zach Galdo, the senior guard. Referee's quick to break that one up. It looks like for the first time in this one, Greensburg Salem going to try out a little full court pressure. And in my honest opinion, I believe they should have tried it a little bit earlier. Full court pressures have really hurt Woodland Hills throughout the season, but
I always say, Travis, there's nothing wrong with a little full court press. It's best to always stay on top of them and kill the other team's momentum, give them the pressure that they need, and see if they can persevere through the pressure.
And the thing with full court pressure is it's really high risk, high reward. Sometimes coaches defer to it because they're more willing to settle down into a half court defense and not take the risk of giving up a plethora of layups, but instead, if you have the length and the speed, sometimes the full court pressure is definitely the best thing to do. There's very few teams in America that can really do it throughout the game, as Rayshawn Robertson was about to get checked out, and he's telling his coaches no, he's going to try and play with 4. We'll see if Coach Matt Furjanic agrees with that, and with his brother Raylon Robertson coming to the scorers table, I'm sure he's going to disagree and will bring out Rayshawn Robertson with 4 fouls. Pass off the mark there by Greensburg Salem. And Woodland Hills getting into their offensive set. Stolen away by Galdo. 2-on-2 as he Euro steps inside the paint. Great hands by Angelo Reddix. Gives it right back for Woodland Hills. Now they have numbers. Kyer Hainsworth absorbing contact, and Robertson trying to get the follow jam. But possession will stick with the white and blue, and Coach Furjanic going to call a timeout with 6 minutes left here in the fourth period of play. They have a 15-point lead, 57-42, and it's going to be a full timeout.
You know what, Travis? I thought that was a smart play on behalf of Coach Furjanic. You know, he needed to slow it down. It was getting a little out of control with the Wolverines' offense. So that's probably a smart play to go.
And we saw Rayshawn Robertson come in and attempt the follow-up jam. And whenever you get the blood pressure up here in the stadium, passes can begin to go all over the place. So I agree with you. A great time out there by Coach Matt Furjanic. He's going to settle down his Woodland Hills team. They have a commanding lead, and it's really a good idea to be smart because there's obviously a lot of scorers here on this Greensburg-Salem team that can catch fire at any point. We've seen Dante Parsons doing it throughout the night with 23 points, but you definitely don't want to let them get Shamar McCoy going, and they've done a really good job of limiting him throughout the night.
folks, tonight's game has been brought to you by Wilson's Night Out, as seen on Def Jam and the Improv. Ty Mack will be at Wilson's Night Out on Saturday, February 15th, and the location will be 7365 Denison Avenue, Swissville, PA, 15218. To get your tickets, call 412-727-1333.
They're at 7-10 right now, 3-5 in the Whippeal 5A section. As a scrum for a ball, and now numbers for Greensburg Salem, and it's Thomas coming in on the other side and finishing with the left-handed layup. And we've seen Woodland Hills doing a great job of avoiding turnovers throughout this game. And I'm sure Coach Zahorchak is wishing he would have gotten into this full court pressure to start the game, as it's really been affecting Woodland Hills here. So will be a sideline inbounds for the team in brown and yellow. We'd like to remind you to stick around for the conclusion of this game, as we will have a post-game chat with a player and coach from the winning team. Chance at a three-pointer here for Greensburg Salem. In and out, and a nice rebound by Jihad Denard. So with Woodland Hills getting it over the midcourt line, look for them to slow this game down and really work some clock here in the final quarter of play. Coach Verjanik once again calling out an offensive set. Angelo Reddick's a little bit out of control, puts up the floater, and just like that, Velton Kinney will check in most likely for Reddick's. Thomas finding some scoring here, as he's now in double digits on the reverse layup. Deontay Williams, breaks the press. And now Woodland Hills will slow it down once again. Williams left him wide open in the three, thought about it. He's been hot from beyond the arc tonight. And Coach Verjanik preaching, take your time to his team. Play like you have the lead. The lead at the most was at 15, but another turnover there by the freshman guard. Great ball movement, and now a timeout called by Coach Verjanik as his team's losing control. Back down to single digits, 57-48, the lead for the Woodland Hills Wolverines, and a different looking team here in the fourth quarter than what we've seen in the first three.
I agree, Travis. It looks like Greensburg is trying to creep their way back into this game. There still is enough time to make it all happen. I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, definitely enough time for this team. They brought it back within single digits, and Woodland Hills, I talked about it at the halftime break. They're playing like they're the better team and really struggling to play with the lead, and we've seen it numerous times this season from Woodland Hills, where they get out to a hot start, and then they kind of just take their foot off the gas pedal, loosen up their collars, and it comes back to bite them. Angelo Reddick, he's definitely a young player, just a freshman, and still has a lot to learn, and it's really moments like this that'll sharpen him up throughout the rest of his career here for Woodland Hills, as a couple of turnovers brought Greensburg Salem right back into it. Before we get started here with the rest of the fourth quarter, we'd like to remind you to check out Big Rock and RAC Cleaning, a 5-star cleaning company rated by the people for both residential and commercial cleaning. If you're looking for regular maid service or even a one-time clean, official office clean, or even a post-construction clean, look no further. Big Rock and RAC Cleaning is the company for you. To inquire, call 412-203-8213. Woodland Hills looking for an answer as Coach Verjanik slams down the clipboard. We've seen him show emotion, but we haven't seen him that angry. And now an offensive foul, and this sideline for Greensburg Salem is livid. And I kind of caught the tail end of it, hard to tell, but they're going to say it was a push-off there by Thomas and an offensive foul, so the ball will go back to the Woodland Hills Wolverines after another costly turnover. And Coach Verjanik apparently during the break told his team that they're not allowed to take a shot unless it's a clear open layup. And in his opinion, that one by Kyer Hainsworth was not wide open. Luckily, the lead stays at 9, 57-48. 4:04 left here in the fourth. And it'll be an inbound under the basket here for Woodland Hills. Coming out of the game is number 2, Zach Galdo, and checking in, number 10, Jeff Mankins. So Greensburg-Salem looking to make a late push here on the road against Woodland Hills High School, looking for their 3rd win of the season. They currently sit at 2-13 with no wins in the WPIAL 5A. As a nice take by Jihad Denard, getting his team right back on track. Pull-up 3 from way beyond the arc. Rims in and out, and a rebound by Robertson. And now this defense really hounding the Woodland Hills team and getting a little scrappy here as Parsons throws the ball at Belton Kinney, and he's not going to take that lightly. So a technical foul call here on Parsons, and I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Mark Zahorchek will be following up with one here. So Zahorchek on his feet and yelling at the referees. Has some late game commotion here, a little bit of a mix-up between Belton Kinney and Dante Parsons. And now we're going to have a little bit of a chat between the Zebras to see what the final call will be. That is certainly not basketball, and we would have been fine until Dante Parsons chose to. He didn't throw it at him, but he certainly rolled it in the direction at a high speed and in the direction of Belton Kinney. And we've seen Belton Kinney, the kid plays with a chip on his shoulder, and he definitely isn't going to take that lightly. And we're getting the official ruling here by Joe Tanook, the head official here in tonight's game. It's going to be a double technical, so a technical on Dante Parsons and a technical on Belton Kinney. So those will get an official ruling here. They tried to get an answer there, but I'm sure with the double technical, those penalties will offset. So a little bit of drama here through 11-point lead with 3:36 remaining. And so the fouls, technical fouls for both players will offset, and we're going to get Deontay Williams for a one-on-one for the original foul.
You know what, Travis? That was nothing but a soap opera moment there. Drama indeed.
And what's high school without a little bit of drama? So after all that, it will be Belton Kinney going to the charity stripe for a chance to extend this lead for the Woodland Hills Wolverines. He will have the one and the bonus. And unable to capitalize there. It's been a very quiet night for Belton Kinney, just 2 points. Kick out corner 3, but before the shot, a block called on Robertson, and that will be his 5th.
You know, Travis, for Robertson, you know, no matter how much he tries to plead his case, he knew that was not a smart decision. If you got 4 fouls, you want to stay in the game, don't even take the risk. Even if you are planted, chances are sometimes a ref may actually call it as a foul and you're out the game. So he fouls out today.
You're right on there, Leon, especially being a senior. He's got to know better that he has 4 fouls. I like him trying to take the charge, but he's got to be able to play with 4 fouls and know that that's going to be a 50-50 call for that a referee, and one blown whistle and he's back out of the game. And with 3:30 remaining here in the fourth, still plenty of time for a comeback for Greensburg-Salem. And not only does it hurt his team that he's now out of the game with 5 fouls, it also sends the Golden Lions to the line with the clock stopped and a chance to bring this back within single digits. So at the line, taking the shots is the starter, Jalen Page. He hasn't had much of an impact tonight. Splits the pair for his only point of the day, and once again, Woodland Hills is going to pull it out and choose to slow it down, but here comes the double team. That's really the worst place to pick up your dribble, trapping yourself between half court and out of bounds. Now going to try the 3 again. off front iron and an offensive rebound by Kyrie Hainsworth.
Well, you know, Travis, that's not just the worst place to stop your dribble. That was the worst kind of pass to throw after that. You never throw a cross-country pass across the court. More than likely, it's always going to get picked off.
And I'm not sure if Kyrie Hainsworth there thought two wrongs were going to make a right, but it certainly did. After Woodland Hills being very clean as far as turnovers go throughout the game, they have been extremely sloppy as the pressure is amped up. And I mentioned it earlier, I'm definitely thinking that Coach Zahorchak is wishing that he would have tried this full court press and at least higher pressure throughout the game, as it's really been affecting Woodland Hills here as the freshman and Angelo Reddix will be coming back into the game. And another one-on-one chance here for Velton Kinney. He missed out on the first opportunity and another blown opportunity there. But an offensive rebound, and Kinney will have it stripped away. Now here comes Shamar McCoy, working his way through the Woodland Hills defense. That pass is intercepted. Now here comes Velton Kinney going up with his left hand to avoid the travel. That's blocked, and we're going to have Shamar McCoy stepping out of bounds. Possession back to Woodland Hills after the missed layup. Now checking back in, Zach Galdo.
Well, you know, Travis, the first time this team met in this conference, you know, they won overtime. It was very dramatic then. Now, it doesn't look like it may go into overtime, but the drama still continues here on the Roxamore Sports Network.
And I'll tell you, Leon, if Woodland Hills keeps turning it over like they do, all it takes for the Golden Lions is a little bit of an offensive spark. They've been getting the turnovers in the offensive possessions, but really just haven't been able to convert, as Parsons has gone a little bit cold here in the fourth quarter. But they got to be careful. They're playing with fire right now, and they certainly don't want to get burned here in the fourth after playing a very good game in the first three quarters.
I couldn't agree more, Travis. I couldn't agree more.
So they go back into that zone defense. I really don't understand the switch up here for Woodland Hills. They've had great success in that man-to-man defense. Parsons going to try one from a different zip code. Front iron and an offensive rebound, now a jump ball.
Yeah, I would agree with you, Travis. That wasn't from downtown. That was from Murraysville right there. That was pretty far out.
And Parsons certainly has the range. He's been showing off from three-point range as a alley-oop off the inbounds, as Coach Verjanik is going to lose his mind. And we're now to an 8-point game with 2:09 remaining here in the fourth quarter. It's going to be a full timeout. So a little bit of drama, like you mentioned, here on the Roxamore Sports Network with 60 seconds. We're going to take a short break and bring you right back to the late game action on the Roxamore Sports Network. Welcome back to the Roxamore Sports Network. Travis Newton with you on the call, joined alongside Leon Rockymore. And tonight's matchup between Greensburg, Salem, and Woodland Hills is brought to you by Wilson's Night Out. Come to Wilson's Night Out, not just for a night out, but for an experience of Caribbean cuisine. Happy hour Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. with specialty drinks. Looking for that certain room to host parties, meetings, social events, receptions, repast, and more? Wilson's Night Out is the place to be. And Woodland Hills High School is the place to be for WPIAL 5A action. Woodland Hills has really had a great performance throughout the night, but this fourth quarter, no offensive action. And now Jihad Denard, he has numbers coming in, and a hard foul will send him to the line for two. So a nice draw up there by Coach Verjanik. They've been applying that full court pressure. Why not just send Jihad Denard looking like a wide receiver out there on the go route?
Well, you know what, Travis? You know, I got to say the blood between these two teams is boiling, and that foul looked at almost intentional there And I'm surprised that foul didn't, deserve a technical to go along with it.
I agree with you, but he did go for the ball. But why I would think it would be verging on a little bit of an intentional there is because of how chippy it's been here in the fourth quarter. Those hard fouls are not going to be taken with any respect there by this Woodland Hills team, and Jihad Denard looking to extend this lead here. He's going to miss them both. And Woodland Hills started out hot on the line, but this fourth quarter has really been bringing out all the worst from this team. Good ball movement around the perimeter. Passing up on the corner three. Shamar McCoy thought about it. Now a looping layup. Rebound McCoy. Puts it up, and now a 30-second timeout here for Greensburg Salem. So they're trying to work back into this one. It's now only a 6-point lead for the Woodland Hills Wolverines with 1:47 left.
All right, folks, tonight's game has been brought to you by Wilson's Night Out, as singing on Def Jam and the Improv. Ty Mack will be at Wilson's Night Out on Saturday, February 15th. Go ahead and get your tickets today by calling 412-727-1333. Once again, 412-727-1333.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Roxamore Sports Network. It was a fast-moving 3 quarters, but now we're at a stalemate in the fourth. Turnovers have been killing the Woodland Hills Wolverines, and wide open in the corner is Velton Kinney. He's begging for it, but instead we're going to get a foul and sending the worst free throw shooter on the team, and Jihad Denard, to the line for 2 after missing 2 in a row. So 1 timeout left for Greensburg Salem, 2 left for the Wolverines in white and blue, and a chance for Denard to extend this Woodland Hills lead, currently at 6 points. Now Denard finding the stroke, hitting the first of 2 free throws. Shamar McCoy coming back into the game now for Greensburg Salem. A 25-point performance for Dante Parsons. He's really been doing it all, putting the team on his back tonight for Greensburg Salem. On the other side, 3 double-digit scorers for Woodland Hills. Nice pass into Velton Kinney, gets it to go. Lead back to 9 for Woodland Hills. Approaching the final minute of play here in the fourth quarter. Shamar McCoy trying to work a move there on Robertson. Now Parsons going to try another one. Offensive rebound, give him another chance, and gets it to go. So Woodland Hills really making all the mistakes that they can't afford now as they inbound it to Williams, getting it to the big man. And just another unforced turnover, and here comes the Golden Lions. Puts it up and gets it to go, and another timeout by Coach Verjanik. Has just no life in his team here in the fourth quarter, and you got to be embarrassed if you're Coach Verjanik here. It's just really unacceptable as a team that's played with the lead, had a lot of confidence in the first 3 quarters, but really it looks like someone's taking the air out of them here in the fourth for no reason.
Yeah, you are so right on that one, Travis. The Wolverines need some fix-a-flat right now or something, because that car looks definitely disabled on the side of the road. They were moving like a smooth vehicle at first, and now I don't know what's happened, but it seems like, things have taken a turn for Greensburg, for the better and for the worse for Woodland Hills.
And if we had to diagnose this Woodland Hills team, it's really been bipolar throughout the season. They've had their highest of highs, but then again, those lows have been extremely low, and there's really been no consistency in the middle for this team. And right now we're seeing them at that low, just making selfish mistakes, and really there's no need to get it to the big man as they just broke the full court pressure. Just settle out your offense. You don't have to dribble it around. Just hold it until you have a teammate come and get it to you, as the unforced errors continue to pile up here for Woodland Hills. as they get the push-ahead pass down to Velton Kinney as he gets the deuce. The score now 64-58 with 30 seconds remaining in the game. And getting another easy bucket are the Greensburg Salem Golden Lions, and Coach Zahorczak's going to call another timeout. It will be a full timeout with 31.4 remaining, and now just a 4-point lead for the Woodland Hills Wolverines.
You know what, Travis? I got to say, as this game gets closer and closer, it's only a 4-point game at the moment. But, you know, both teams are doing a great job. However, as you can see, Greensburg didn't force a foul on that last drive down the court because they realized that they keep making mistakes. What's the point for forcing them to put them on the foul line to put this game completely out of their hands with a good shooter like Velton Kinney or someone on the line? So I think it was a smart play to not force the foul, to wait and see if Woodland Hills are going to make a mistake and see if they can capitalize on it. And they back-to-back, coast-to-coast, both teams scored. Now it's just a 4-point game. Let's see what happens.
And that's a great point. And to that, it's really been selective fouling for the Golden Lions. Whenever they see the ball in the hands of Jahad Denard, they've done their scouting reports. They know he struggles from the free throw line and has done that throughout the season. So if they see him or another big man touch it that's been struggling from the line, of course they're going to foul him. That's just the smart move. But if it's not in the hands, the Woodland Hills team has been turning it over at a high clip here in the fourth quarter. So just let those guys really turn it over to you, and it's been a double-edged sword for Woodland Hills throughout this fourth quarter. Let's see if they can clean it up here in the final 30 seconds of the game. Coach Verjanik drawing up a play to get the ball in bounds, and now comes Woodland Hills with numbers. Angelo Reddix looked at the rim from that three-point line, and Coach Verjanik definitely would have lost his mind if he would have took that shot. But here we will see a foul, and it'll be, looks like Kyer Hainsworth stepping up to the free throw line for a chance to extend this lead with the 1-and-1. And actually, scratch that. It will be 2 shots coming for Kyer Hainsworth with Golden Lions now in the double bonus. Hainsworth stroking it from the free throw line. Moves it now to a 5-point lead for the Woodland Hills Wolverines. 1 timeout left for Woodland Hills. None for the Golden Lions of Greensburg Salem. And Hainsworth will hit them both. He's now the leading scorer for this Woodland Hills team with 17. The leading scorer in the game has the ball right now, and Dante Parsons, who has 28. Looking to extend that. A moon ball, airballs it, and another foul will send Hainsworth to the line. And with 2 free throws here, a chance to